One of the reasons that Andor is so good is because it's drawing upon history to write what this rebellion would look like. This doesn't mean that we're not in a galaxy far, far away, but it's pulling from what we know to be true here in our galaxy that has been true about rebellions for all time. And one of those that we saw in episode 8 was the false flag operation run by the Empire to justify their military overreach to take over the planet of Gorman, all so that they could get Calcite out of the ground.
And it turns out, spiders are not the most unique thing in Gorman.
Propaganda will only get you so far. You need a radical insurgency you can count on.
This is very similar to the event that sparked World War II. You see, Hitler needed to invade Poland. He wanted to go after the Poles. He wanted to destroy them and wipe them off the face of the earth because they were just only a little bit better than Jews in his mind. So he needed a reason to give to the German people of why they should invade Poland. And that's where Operation Himmler comes in. August 31st, 1939, a group of German soldiers who were dressed with Polish uniforms went to take over a transmission tower. As this happened, they broke into the radio station and shouted some anti-German rhetoric in Polish over the radio to kind of signify that this was all anti-German. And then after all of that happened, the next day, September 1st, 1939, is when the invasion of Poland began. This was all pre-planned in such a way to make the Polish people look like the enemy, like the agitators, like the ones who had been at fault all along, so that the German people would be united in this endeavor. Now, when we hop over to Andor, the same exact thing is happening. And it's the seeds that have been planted from the very beginning of season 2 as Dedra was talking to director Krennic, saying what you really need more than just propaganda is an insurgency of rebels who are going to do the very thing you need them to do. But the question is, how do you get them to that point? How do you build the tension in such a way that finally it all explodes? And how do you ensure that it happens? Well, that's where the false flag event at the Gorman massacre comes into play.
Apologies, I know you've been waiting.
There's reports coming in from the countryside. They're saying we've landed mining rigs.
You seem animated.
Rumors spread quickly these days.
Well, I'm sure Captain Kaido has his assets in position.
That's why I thought it urgent we speak. He's given orders to barricade the building.
I saw that. Seems a wise idea. The only story that matters is Gorman aggression.
The threats. The inexplicable resistance to Imperial norms.
We need what's in the ground. The Empire has been patient long enough.
Our struggles with Gorman are well documented.
And calm the situation down. The casualties from yesterday's bombing at the naval depot are still yet to be finalized.
This false flag operation that Captain Kaido has been brought in to run, it's one that's existed before Dedra Meero, and it's one that's going to continue whether she likes it or not. This is why they were building an armory on Palmo even to begin with, just to start the agitation. This is a plan that is years in the making, and now that the mining ships have shown up, Pendergrass is saying that the time is right, we've waited long enough, they're going to do what we need them to do, so let's move ahead. And so slowly everything starts to be moved into place. Part of the reason I think that the whole Gorman massacre hits so hard in this episode is the painstaking detail that they've gone to make this feel like an absolute calculated evil on behalf of the Empire.
What I want is a comfortable ride home. But let's not confuse the chain of command. I'm the trigger supervisor, you're the finger. Make sure you're available.
This isn't just a rogue event gone wrong. This isn't a heist that got messed up. This isn't the rebels trying to overthrow and overtake the building. This is pure evil at its finest, and this is being pulled directly from what we see in history. And I think this is what makes so much of this so hard to stomach, but yet also at the same time so hard to look away from. It's riveting.
Close all the exits.
Yes, sir.
Channel 5 is open.
Standing by, sir.
It's diabolical, it's horrifying, and all of that in the scope of what's happening here, right in front of Cassian's eyes, right in front of Cyril Karn's eyes, is this operation. Cyril knows the truth. Even Dedra knows the truth of how bad this truly has gotten. She's standing upset, angry, almost frustrated that all of this is going outside of her control, that she wasn't able to bring it about, but yet the rebels' hands are going to be forced by a sniper on the roof. When Captain Kaido gives the order for the patrol to go out into the crowd, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Patrol, sir. Within the crowd.
Was that not my order?
They're green, sir. They're useless.
I see Imperial uniforms, Sergeant. I see a barricade lane to the memorial that I need kept open. You will march them out there immediately and secure the area, or you can all finish your days in an Imperial brig.
Just like he calculated every single barrier, every single step to close off the exits, send out the patrol, step after step after step has been calculated and purposeful, all with the result of getting the Gorman people to begin firing on the Empire. And then you add into it the reporting, the radio broadcasts, the things that are being sent out to the world, as well as the senators who in the next episode are going to stand forward and talk about all of the slain Imperials at the hands of the rebels. This is exactly the same thing. This is what a false flag operation is.
Orders, please. Supervisor Miro.
Proceed.
Put him on.
5 online, standing by.
Fire at will. Repeat. Fire at will.
This operation was all done to make the Empire look justified in its actions, at least from the outside, without too much scrutiny. And it's Captain Kaido that brings this all together. I don't think we would have looked at it the same if it had been Dedra. Instead, he's almost enjoying this. He's loving what's happening. He's looking out the window with a grin on his face, knowing that he's done exactly what he was supposed to do. And I'm going to be honest, I knew that things were going to get a little crazy in Andor Season 2. I wasn't mentally prepared for this. And I should have been. I should have known that they were going to push the envelope so far, that they were going to make us just sit on the edge of our seat in silence as we clench our fists in anger at what we're seeing happen on the screen. Finally, the Empire is being shown for what they truly are, this menacing, calculated, pure evil that desire to control every aspect of the galaxy. And this is how they were able to come to power. They weren't just going to let it be up to chance. They weren't going to just let the Calcite possibly be taken out of the ground. They were going to ensure that their plans came to fruition no matter what. This is brilliant writing. This is what it is to take some things that are inspired by real world events and to work them into a television show that makes it impact us even more. And that's exactly what this episode did. From beginning to end, I was on the edge of my seat and I could not believe what I was watching. And this is why Andor is such a masterful show, because I couldn't fathom a way and a story that would make the Empire look even more evil than we've known it to be. But that's exactly what they've accomplished.